Please welcome Mr. Iqbal Khan to our live show. I am going to send him a request. Not only that, while Sir joins, I want to tell you that he has had 8 awards so far. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, how are you?
All good, all good. I'm so surprised that you were able to join before time. That's amazing.
I'm a sucker for time, yeah. I have an issue with time. I have to start everything on time. I was in a boarding school, I'm
That's
sorry.
great. No, absolutely not. That's amazing. In fact, I'm really happy we'll get a little more time to catch up with you and understand more about you.
Awesome.
So we have like 3 sets of questions that I have prepared for you. There are a few personal questions so that we can know your likes and dislikes. Then there are a few questions related to the amazing TV series you have been a part of. Not only that, we know that you have also been a host on NDTV. And so we have so many questions for you. So to begin with, I think I would want to ask you that what do you like the most about being an actor?
Well, this question can be answered in 3 different stages. It is when you start working initially, when you're in the middle, and then when you're ending. So I am somewhere in the middle. So
Okay.
for me, the best part about acting is that I get to do what I've always wanted to do, and I love doing it. And at the same time, it is a kind of career that has given me my life here. So unfortunately, in this world today, which is not a very cool thing, but apart from the people who are very, very close to you, like family and close friends, the rest, everybody likes you, dislikes you, respects you, doesn't respect you, only for the job that you do, your designation, your work. What kind of a human being you are, that's very secondary, but mostly people concentrate on that. So I always respect work. So for me, this is like awesome.
That's great. I'm really glad to know that, you were able to give us insights on how there are 3 stages of, acting. And that's great, I think. So that would bring me to what was your journey like? So when you entered the industry, when you started, auditioning, so where did it all start?
So I shifted to Bombay around 20 years ago, and I came in initially with a lot of confidence because when I was in Delhi, when I was doing my college in Delhi, I used to model there, and life was okay. And when I shifted to Bombay, I was pretty confident that everything's going to work out. Unfortunately, it did not, and suddenly there was a lot of time without work. And but it's just that you stick to your goal, and you just have to work hard. And at the same time, one more aspect which is very important is that whatever you're doing, your parents have to be very happy with that, and their blessings are absolutely necessary. If you don't have those, then it's scary.
Right. So that's great. So a lot of years, I think the first time we saw you on television was probably 2005. Maybe I'm wrong, but I was too young to remember the year. So maybe around, I think 2005, I guess.
Yes, that's it. I started shooting for my first show in 2004. That was television, but before that I did feature films.
Oh, that's great. Right. So I think I did see a lot of films on your profile. So now I think we can ask you this question that how can you differentiate between acting for TV serials and acting for Bollywood? Like, what are the technicalities that differ in this genre?
I think it's the audience. The television audience is not very experimental. That's what the research team of all the channels say. I don't really believe in that, but that's what they say. The television audience is not very They don't like experimenting. They like a little regressive stuff, and that is what they believe in. I don't buy that. I think if you give them good content, which they can emotionally connect with, because emotions are something that is universal. There are so many films that you watch with subtitles, could be some other land altogether, but you still connect with the film. It's because of their emotion.
Absolutely.
So that's one big thing here between films and television, that experimenting and content that the makers feel that television audience is not yet ready for content that is usually shown on films. And web to badi dur ki baat hai, because web is gone way ahead.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, so that's amazing insight, because definitely we understand that in a way you can definitely catch an audience and then build their interest in something different. But at the same time, I think they are in a comfort zone where they would like to see something easygoing, relatively predictable in its storyline. So that's great. I think that when you bring it about that, the kind of freedom that comes with acting in films versus acting in OTT. So yeah, I think you've answered a lot of questions that I was going to ask you ahead in this question itself. So this would bring me to what is your daily routine like as an actor, as a performing artist? What do you do to invest in your craft?
So the best thing that you can invest in whatever you do in life is to be honest and nothing else. This is a huge bracket and it covers everything. Whatever you're doing in life, whatever your job is, the only investment of yours is to be honest. And that's it. It covers everything. It covers hard work, it covers homework, it covers everything. You just have to be honest. That's all. So when I'm working, if I'm doing TV, then it's a little more hectic. I shoot around 25, 26 days a month. And I only take days off when I have to take days off. There's no particular Saturday, Sunday kind of thing. And I usually shoot for 10 to 12 hours a day. When I'm shooting web is a little scattered unless and until it's a start to finish schedule. Like recently, I was shooting in Mussoorie for a month. So we finished the entire series there. So I was there for a month and I came back. Otherwise, it's usually scattered. Last year I shot for my web show called Crackdown, which came on Boot. So which had three schedules. It was a long schedule in Chandigarh and Kasauli, and then Delhi, and then Nanded and Bombay. So it was all scattered. And when I'm not working, I'm doing nothing.
Okay, so no hobbies?
I have no hobbies. I am interested. I am really interested in humanity, and I'm not much of a reader, but if there's anything on humanity which goes beyond the typical right and wrong, and I like that.
So philosophy and service, I think that is what would definitely be your forte, I guess.
Sort of, yes.
Right. Okay, so when it comes to acting, we would want to know that did you go through any formal training to become an actor?
यार मैं जब आया था ना उस टाइम पैसे नहीं होते थे उतने की मतलब one would go in, because I remember that time there were a couple of acting schools here in the Andheri side, and I personally couldn't afford at that time, so I did not go. But God has been very kind. I learned through I worked, which was a blessing, so which was good. But if given a chance, it's always good to study your whatever you've chosen to do. It's a good thing. It only adds.
Okay. So, like you said, that you have grown through your work and you have learned through your work. I want to ask you that you started out with Kaisa Ye Pyar, if I'm not wrong, like on TV at least.
I started with a film called Fantoosh.
Yeah. Fun tours definitely. But when it comes to TV serials, I think you started with Kaisa Hai Ye
Yes,
Pyar,
yes,
right?
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So I think that all of us kids who like were growing up, you were like, your all your serials were like a household favorite. So I personally want to know that what was your growth journey like from Kaisa Hai Ye Pyar to Sanjog Se Sangini and then to Chuna Hai Asman? Because all these places you had a very versatile and different kind of a role. So how did you like go through all these different serials and working with simultaneous Bollywood projects?
So when I do TV, I don't do anything with it. There's no simultaneous project. Anyone who's doing any actor who's playing a lead on a television show hardly gets time to do anything else. So you can't pick
Right,
up
right,
something else. That is very, very tough. Unless you throw your weight around and still manage doing it. And
right.
that way, either what you're chosen to do, the other thing that suffers, or what you've left, that suffers. Something suffers. So if I'm doing TV, I don't take anything else. Uh, Coming back to your question, your main question, uh, when I started doing my TV, my first show, there was after my films had flopped. My entire idea of doing that show was just to pay my next month's rent. That was
Okay.
the primary focus for me at that time. It did not really matter to me what the show was, what the story is. I was not interested in that. I just did not have the money for my next month's rent, and that is how I took it up. And it worked.
Very
So
well, for sure.
yeah, and the character was also absolutely opposite of how I am. It was a rock star. It was somebody who's not respectful to women, and he's brash and he's rude, and um, but as an actor, what you're not, it's very interesting to play all that. So that was I was lucky. And after that show was over, the next show that I did was the show called Chuna Hai Asman, which was based on the Air Force. So at that time, if you remember, leaving this show, Kaisa Ye Pyar Hai, the other shows were, it was a peak of TV. Everybody would watch TV.
Right,
Everybody,
right.
whatever class or society you came from, you watch TV. I still remember, I used to live in this building that time where I used to live on the third floor, and I used to, after pack up, come home and go by stairs. So जो फर्स्ट फ्लोर पे जो म्यूजिक चल रहा होता था वही सेकंड पे जाता था, वही थर्ड पे जाता था. Basically everybody was watching the same thing. Now things have
Right.
changed. People have.
Yeah.
So at that time, and that time Saas Bahu was like a big thing. So at
Right.
that time, I did not want to do that because my first show was also not Saas Bahu. It was a love story.
Right.
So
Right.
I wanted to let me not, because I'm getting this. And then luckily the offer came to me on my about this show, which was based on the Air Force and TV, and then I was very kicked about it. That's the first thing that I picked up after Kaisa Ye Pyar Hai. So with that, we did a lot of with that kind of a show, you need homework. So we actually did a lot of
Absolutely.
homework for that. And in fact, I remember we shooting in Jodhpur Air Base. So we'd gone much before we started shooting, and did a bit of stuff there. According to that time, it was good homework.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you got some hands-on experience of a similar place, so I think that that would have made a lot of difference in your
Yeah, yeah.
approach
So
towards your character.
Sanjog Se Bani Sangini was, I was a little thing about playing that was because it was a story of somebody who was an alcoholic, and I have never tasted alcohol in my life ever. So
Right, right,
so for me, I was a little scared about how I would look, because a lot of emotions that you've seen people, how fear is, how death is, how you would react to this kind of a situation. But I did not know how you would be, when you'd be drunk. So, so that's something that but luckily my director was also very good. So I gave him 2-3 references, and then he caught on to one, and he said, this is what you keep. and it kind of worked.
Okay. That's great. So the disparity that you brought around between all the three shows, I think that gives us a lot of backstory to how you function as an actor, which is a great to learn from you. So this would bring me to a question that after your Kaisa Hai Ye Pyar, how did you choose your scripts either for Bollywood or for TV? Like what were you looking for?
So for me, medium does not really matter. So as long as, so what I see is, first thing I see is the totality of the story, and
Okay.
then I see my character,
Okay.
and then the money. That's it. Just these three things is that matters. So you just, and in the same order.
Okay. Okay. So prioritizing the value of the script and how it fits with your preferences. That would be
Yeah.
your first
Sometimes
this.
sometimes your role is so good, but the entire story is shitty. So there's no use doing that. It's
Okay.
better to do something with where the entire total package is good. So I always look at the total script weight, then my character, and then the money.
Okay. So then, what was your experience like shooting for Fantush? Like, since it was your if that was your debut, if I can say that, in the industry, what was it like? Since you were new to the sets and
We had a lot of fun, yeah. So so the director of the film, his name is Imtiaz Punjabi. He's a dear friend. I don't know about everybody else, but I did exactly what he told me to do.
Okay.
Exactly. There was maybe a bit of here and there, whatever I did, but otherwise, exactly instructions to the T. That's what I did with Fantush. So otherwise,
Wow.
rest everything was fun.
Right. So you did have a lot of fun shooting for Fantush, while
Lot
also
of
being
fun.
able to accommodate the director's vision.
Always, always, always. Your interference in the project depends only on uh, how well your director knows.
Okay, okay. So after this, I think the right thing to ask you would be like in general, when you're on a set, do you prefer improvising or are you more inclined to completely the director's vision? Like when do you think it's best to improvise? Like what's your MO?
It depends on the director. Yeah. There are some directors who want you to stick to what they want, and then there are some directors who will say करके दिखा, फिर वो करके देख के वो बोलेंगे कि नहीं ये रहने दे, पर ये अच्छा किया तो ये रख, ये मत रख. So I'm good with both. Yeah. So as long as the ones who want to stick to their guns are very good or is very good, but there are some people who want to stick to their side purely because of ego. That's not good. That doesn't work for
Right,
me.
right,
So if you want to stick to your guns, that means you should be the best on the set. If
right,
that's
right,
the
right.
case, I'll also stick to you. But otherwise, I get so sometimes when a director lets me be and then does a minus plus in my performance, I like that space.
Okay, okay. All right. So then through all this, I think first we want to know about your upcoming projects before anything else. So, what are your upcoming projects? Are you looking for something? Are you shooting for something?
As I said earlier, I just finished a web show.
Right,
We did a start to finish kind of a thing in Missouri. I was there for like almost 1 month, and
right, right.
it was very cold. Uh, Unfortunately, these days you have contracts where you can't really talk about your future projects unless because they want to
Understand.
keep everything till the release. But all I can say is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
it's a thriller, and it was really good shooting in Missouri with the entire team. It was good
Wow.
fun. I have a good set of actors with me in the show,
Okay.
and which I can't reveal much right now. It was good fun.
I think the hype will remain alive till the time we have something from you. So that won't be a problem. I understand there's the stuff with NDA, but we will definitely wait to watch you again on screen from all our homes since we are still in a lockdown. But yes, definitely about that. So the thriller thing that will bring me to, of course, Khatron Ke Khiladi. That was something that is completely different and is quite real time. So give us a little bit of behind the scenes of Khatron Ke Khiladi.
I think on TV it's the closest to, I don't know now, but at that time it was the closest to a reality show, if you know what I mean.
Right, right.
It was
Yes.
it was the closest to reality. So and uh, I'm an actor, okay, primarily. So for me, uh, you can't get content out of me unless it's not acting. So
Okay.
a lot of other shows are there where I can't make faltu ka conversation and then try to get him something. And I'll give you my basic example here. If you go into my Instagram or my social media, I only put up stuff that I want you to see. I don't
Right.
do anything for you. I don't do anything for you. You might want me. You might want to watch me do some skits or something, but I'll not do that.
Right,
Okay.
right, right.
There are some posts that you might love, and you see lots of comments and lots of likes and all, which is fine. But there are some which you'll see very less. But I'll still post those because it's
Right,
my
right. Yeah, I
space
saw that.
and it's my space, and I'll always be like that. This is my social media, and
Right.
I will give you what I have to show you. It's not a stage. It's not something that uh, that you bought a ticket for and I'll do it for you. It's not that. So it's the same
Wow,
thing.
that's good.
It's the same thing with a reality show also. Why I don't do reality shows, but Fear Factor was one of the closest because you could keep quiet throughout, do your tasks, and still reach the finals. And that is, I'm the best example of that. If you
Right.
if you saw that season of mine, um, I remember Rohit Shetty telling this one actor who was eliminated somewhere in the middle, and he said, "You look at Iqbal, there's no drama, but he's still here, and
Yeah.
I feel he's worried. So
Yeah.
there's no." He said, "It's not." He said, "It's not Big Boss. You just have to do your thing here. So your talk is not going to take you ahead."
Right, right. So I think honesty has you talking about honesty has followed through all your projects, including your social media, which is very refreshing to hear. I was stalking your social media to understand things and to get to talk to you about things. So I saw that you are into posting quotes and you talk about things that are close to you, and which is really amazing. So you are definitely practicing what you preach, and these days there are very few people who do that. So thank you
I'll
for
also
setting a good example.
I can also sometimes post a very silly spoof that I do, but I'll only do
Right,
that when I really feel like. I will not
right,
do that. और मेरे को तो अपने followers बढ़ाने तो मुझे ये करना चाहिए, मुझे वो करना चाहिए. This is not my bread and butter.
right, right,
This
right.
is just
Authenticity.
to interact with fans, and because I
Right,
hold fans very close to my heart when they're very important. So uh, and there are certain people on my social media who have stuck to me since last 20 years. There are
okay.
there's a set of
Loyal
lovely
gems.
human
Yeah.
beings from Latin America. If you actually see since
Right, right, right.
last 2 years, uh, they're beautiful people. Yeah, they actually you must have noticed when you put the time up. I posted it, so they also post what उनके टाइम पे कब होगा? So they said it's 6 a.m. for the
Yeah,
morning.
right. Yes,
For
yes, yes.
example, okay, so Mariam is here, okay? Miriam from Chile, she's right now, it's 6 a.m. There's Valerie, there's Guari,
Yeah,
there's somebody from Indonesia, there's Kavita. Kavita is from here, but there's Sylvia. They all are from Latin America. It's like 6 in the morning there. So, but they're still up.
right,
So,
right.
so there's Armi, Gio, Martina. So these people are they somehow this is not something that you I've not monkeyed around on my social media. I think somewhere you connect. There's something that the heart connects.
Right. That's great. I think that we are very well aware that your fan base is, around the world, and we have a lot of people coming in, and they have been really sweet, and the hearts are pouring in for you, and there are so many messages, appreciating you, and all your fans from all over the world joining us, which is great. We are really, really glad to share this platform with you, and understand that authenticity is what brings you the best people, the best projects, and that's the best approach in life. So I think that's what I have learned today from this bit of our conversation, that authenticity and honesty is what should follow through all your acts. So thank you so much for that, I think.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So a few more questions before we part ways. I think I would want to know that what has this industry? Yes.
There's a quote, I don't know by who. It says, what others think of you is none of your business. I think if one understands that, it's amazing.
Right. Definitely. I think that says a lot about confidence and says a lot about self-belief. So yes, another thing to learn from your experiences. So of course, these experiences have come through being a part of the industry and personal, your personal experiences. So what has this industry given you that you don't think any other industry would be able to provide you?
Oh, let me let me get a little
Definitely take your time. We're here as long as you are here with us.
philosophical about this.
Yes, please.
Any job that you take is supposed to and will bring you ins and outs and goods and bads and do's and don'ts. And so whatever I've gone through till now in my life, uh, irrespective of what my profession is, I would have gone through this. So it's just that God chose this path for me, and I'm on it, and I've experienced lots of ups and downs and goods and bads. And so I wouldn't point out one thing and give it to that industry, this industry, that this is what I can only get, because there's everything that you can get from any industry.
Right.
You know? I mean, you can be a businessman and still have a lot of fame. I mean, you can be you can own a restaurant and you can have a lot of money. You can these days there's no there's gone are those days when fame only came through entertainment. Those days are gone.
Right. So I think that how you're not so attached to your label also tells us that the versatility that you bring to the table comes from the fact that you have a broader perspective of things, and through your personal experiences, which is again quite commendable, because a lot of people get stuck with their labels and then get limited in a way. So another thing to learn from you would be that, I think. So through all this, I think it is time to now ask you that what is your message for budding actors, actresses, or performing artists in general? What is that one thing from your life that you would want to pass on to, students or other, whoever is an aspiring professional?
So have you heard of this term called dharma?
Ji.
So dharma is something that is missing these days it's across the board. Dharma is very important. Dharma, anything that you do in life, dharma has to happen. It has to happen with dharma. You have to do it religiously. It's an obligation towards your job that you have to do it honestly. There should not be any medal for it. It should be a default setting that whatever you do, you have to do it honestly. And it goes across the board. It could be for anything, not only for actors. It is for everybody who's doing any sort of job. Okay, you have to do it religiously. And you have to do it honestly. And you have to give it your best. Then only there are returns. So this is very, 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 very important. And you have to be kind and you have to be compassionate. These are things which take you ahead. There will be a lot of speed breakers. It doesn't matter. Later on, you'll realize that those speed breakers have only added to your life. So, honesty is a big thing that everybody should have. Even if you're in the morning, somebody who's sweeping the road, वो ऑनेस्टली करेगा ना तो उसमें भी बरकत आएगी उसको वो पता नहीं कहां से कहां पहुंच जाएगा. But you have to do that job.
क्या बात है. Determination, grit, honesty, authenticity, all these things. I think that the examples that you have given us also, I think, have really opened up our perspective, especially mine. So definitely something to remember from our conversation, and which would bring me to that, since you are into this revolutionary philosophy, through the lockdown, it must have been, I think it has been around 9 to 10 months, and especially the first 6 months of lockdown. So how did you, what was your mantra? How did you manage your mental health? And what do you want to tell us about the same?
यार सच्ची बताऊं पहले 2 महीने तो पता नहीं चला हो क्या रहा है.
सही बात है.
So first 2 months everybody was like हो क्या रहा है, because even if somebody who is a complete introvert, never gets out, sits in his room, even those people are like, what the hell happened? So पहले 2 महीने तो समझ में लगे कि हो क्या रहा है. But before I say anything, I just want to mention that God has been very, very kind. Very, very kind that a lot of us, we've had homes that we have lived in. We have had our 3-4 meals a day. Garmi mein AC on kiya hai. There's a gaadi there. I might not have used it, but it's all these things have been there. So, and it has affected the poor the most. Poor people have been affected so much. So the first thing that comes to mind with the lockdown is how grateful we should be that at least we were not in the zone where we completely got screwed.
Right.
We might have lost business, we might have lost money, but it's a strange thing. No matter what problems we're going through, there's always people in the world who are ready to take your place. कोई बात नहीं चलेगा, तू अपनी जिंदगी मुझे दे दे, मेरी ले ले. So one just has to be really, really thankful here and gratitude full on for this. But otherwise, I come from a family where I always help at home, so there's nothing new that we did. Not that मैंने पहली बार झाड़ू पोछा मारा या पहली बार बर्तन धोए. I've done that before. I for example, I always iron my own clothes. Lockdown, no lockdown, I always iron my own clothes. But otherwise, so we always, I remember when I was a kid, my mom would always push me towards wash utensils or aaj aata maan le, aaj ye kar de. So we used to, why don't you iron the shirt? This is how you iron the shirt. So fortunately, we all come from families where it's not the first time that we were doing it. So it was okay. it was okay. No big deal. Doing housework, no big deal at all. Though there are a lot of people who made content out of this.
Yeah,
but,
right.
but no big shit, yeah.
क्या बात है. So then gratefulness through lockdown was your mantra, which is amazing. I think a lot of us need to learn from you how to be straightforward, very passionate, compassionate at the same time, and authentic and honest. So I think आज का सेशन बढ़िया रहा. मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा कि मैं आपके साथ ये प्लेटफॉर्म शेयर कर पाई. जाते जाते मिठीवुड के लिए अगर आप कुछ कह सके, हम आपके फैंस के लिए और जो बडिंग आर्टिस्ट है उनके लिए कुछ कह सके तो बहुत अच्छा लगेगा.
पहले तो बडिंग आर्टिस्ट के लिए बोलूंगा कि एक्टिंग मेन चीज है, सो फोकस ऑन दैट. बॉडी बन जाने से एक्टर नहीं बनता और खूबसूरत होने से भी एक्टर नहीं बनता. और आजकल तो टाइम्स हैव कम वेयर you have to be an actor, especially the web zone. It's competitive only in the field of acting and nothing else. So I'm not saying don't go to the gym, but concentrate on acting more than the gym. And but you guys, it's amazing, yeah. It's at your age, you guys are doing all this. It's amazing. The way you have conducted I've been in the field since last 20 years. I've met a lot of journalists. Trust me, not even once I felt bored. Otherwise, when you sit in an interview or something, there are always those 6 to 7 basic questions which most of the journalists have. You have been wonderful, and considering your age and everything, it is inspiring to share space with you and talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think that it has been our pleasure, and thank you so much. I definitely hope that in the next few months we have the opportunity to meet offline. बहुत दिल से तहे दिल से चाहूंगी कि ये लॉकडाउन हमारे लिए कभी ना कभी जल्द खत्म हो जाए और मिलने का मौका मिले. और उसके अलावा यही कहूंगी कि आपके जो भी फ्यूचर एंडेवर्स है उसके लिए आपको ऑल द बेस्ट. वी आर वेरी वेरी एक्साइटेड टू सी यू ऑन स्क्रीन. And for all of you watching here, if you have not already watched Crackdown, please go watch it. It's an amazing show. I think it's airing on Voot, right?
Yes, it's on Voot Select.
Yes, Voot Select. So all you guys, time to go become premium subscribers there. And thank you so much for showing your love, and thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. And thank you everyone who was a part of this. And love you guys a lot. You guys amazing. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Yes. फिर मिलेंगे. खुदा हाफिज.
Hafiz. Take care.
Bye bye.